Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest instalment for the Christmas New Year period. Totally Speedway's Daniel Powell. We're going to be wrapping up this last night's action. So there's plenty of action, including all around the country. And then we've got previewing tonight's action. Just a little bit of racing. Got a bit of a down period for everyone today. But yeah, what an awesome sort of period that we're in. We're in the midst of a lot of racing, a heap of racing going on around the country across open wheels and sedans, but to have them all come on, I'm really excited. So without further ado, we'll get stuck into this. So we've got World Series Sprint Cars. So round 3 was held last night at Mount Gambier's Borderline Speedway in South Australia, and it certainly didn't disappoint. We had plenty of action, plenty of drama, and there was heaps of racing. The bad luck for the Jamie Veal and the Cricket Motorsport team continued. Tim Van Gittingen and Kerry Madsen stayed away from one another, so that was a good thing. But in the end, it was Kerry Madsen who picked up his second win for the series. So won the opening round of Murray Bridge, obviously crashed out in spectacular fashion at round 2. In round 3, was able to get the job done and go on and record a strong victory. So it was his second win in 3 nights running for the Kineric Motorsport team, who are our current and 3-time Australian champion. Second was James McFadden. Continues to pile on the points. He ended up, he ran 5th in round 1, I think it was. He got second. He won the second night at Murray Bridge Speedway and then ran second tonight. So that probably gives him the series points lead at this stage. The World Series haven't released anything as yet with the points. That's something that we needed to put that needs to be eradicated. We need to get better, be updated with the points and everything like that. I understand Mount Gambier is tough for internet reception, but we really need, this is the key series. This is the leading series for our sport, and we need to be on top of things a lot better. So, with that, behind Kerry Madsen and James McFadden, we had Carson Macedo. So Carson Macedo, the American, running for Sean and Felicity Dyson from the Dyson Motorsport team. He came from position 12 in the B main, ended up transferring, joined the spot, then come from position 20 in the feature race and ended up coming home 3rd. So, Carson Macedo, he's just warming up, and it's going to be exciting to see once he gets a few more races under his belt. He'll be genuine front-running threat. He's obviously always a front-running threat, but on this occasion, he's really warming up, and he'll be challenging for wins sooner rather than later. So in 4th place, it was the local star in Stephen Lyons. Obviously, Lyons, it is his first appearance, his third appearance. When we do that, so that'll be his 3rd appearance with the Horrell Motorsport team now. After obviously on Boxing Day morning, it was announced that him and Brian Hall had parted ways. So Lyons got 4th. Strong result. Obviously, would be wanting to perform better. Sean Dobson from Tasmania, running for the David Dixon Motorsport team. He ended up in 5th. He was as high as 3rd place in the early stages of the feature race, but unfortunately dropped back. But to run top 5 with that company is no mean feat, and well done to Sean for that. Behind the top 5, so Ryan Jones, who ran 2nd in the opening round at Murray Bridge, he topped the timesheets and time trials earlier in the night. And then Brock Hallett put in his best performance that I've seen. He had a crash the previous night at Murray Bridge Speedway, but was able to fix the car and bring it home in 7th place. So that's an awesome result for Brock Hallett, who's a former multiple Australian Formula 500 champion. So it's good that Brock's starting to get it's a tough apprenticeship, as they say, a 5-year apprenticeship in sprint cars before you really start moving and being able to challenge for races. And Brock's on his way, so he's doing really well. In 8th place is another local in Glen Sutherland. So Glenn Sutherland, he brought it home in 8th place. That was a very strong result. Former World Series champion David Murcott was 9th, and 10th was Brad Keller, continues his consistent runs of top 10 finishes. The other US drivers, so Carson Macedo obviously was the best performing of the Yanks. Jason Johnson and Dominic Scelzi were out in the early stages of the feature race, so that was disappointing for them. Jason Johnson had podiumed at the minor podiums at the previous rounds at Murray Bridge, but this time, he severely had a big crash aboard the Diamond Bay Motorsport car. And Dominic Scelzi, he's just not having the best of runs, and as a result, he's struggling to do any good, unfortunately. So he'll get better. He's a better driver than the rest. This is, he's certainly a driver that I'm really impressed by and really a big fan of. So, he'll be pushing on for a better result for the Warman Motorsport team. Corey Eliason, the other American, the fourth American, he's running for Adam Curry. He was unable to get out of the B main where he finished 9th, so he was unable to advance into the feature race, and that's disappointing considering the last previous nights he'd recorded 2 hard-charging top 10 finishes. And so then we've got, a lot of the contractor drivers, a lot of the like Jason Pride and Mick Seller and all that tough initiations, and as a result, that's seen them struggle. But it's all part of the apprenticeship. The road on getting on the road with World Series night after night and backing up. That's the key, and just having a crack and just persisting. That's how you do with sprint cars. So there's more lows than highs with sprint car racing, and guys like Mick Seller and all these newcomers that are on the World Series trail are certainly going to learn more than they do, just running in their backyard. So also on the night, we had the second round of the Speedway Series for Formula 500. On this occasion, it was Dion Bellman. Dion Bellman, earlier this season at Borderline Speedway, had won the rescheduled South Australian title. It was meant to be held last season, but it was cancelled. So he continued his good run at Borderline Speedway and ended up coming away with a win. Second was American Frank Calusa. He put in a strong performance, and third was Ryan Skinner. So Ryan Skinner for Queensland, he's had a really strong run for Speedweek. He had it on pole position at Simpson the previous night, but unfortunately the rain cancelled the feature race, and then brought it home in third in the points, and he'd be right up there in the point standings at the moment. Then we go to Sydney's Valvoline Raceway in New South Wales last night, and what a result it was. Warren Ferguson, he's a guy that a lot of people probably wouldn't know too much about his background. Like, he's had a big career in BMX as a kid. He'd done speedway karts, speed cars, done sprint cars for the last 20 years on and off. He used to be a crew chief for Kerry Madsen back in the 90s, and he's also a very handy T-shirt designer. He used to do all sketching and all those designs for the actual sprint car, a lot of the sprint car teams throughout the 90s. So, Warren Ferguson's a guy that's, he's certainly, very talented across a number of fields. But Warren Ferguson, he picked up his first feature race win at Valvoline Raceway in 17 years. The last time he won, which was only his second feature race win at that time, was December 2000 and the year 2000. So we're going back 17 years ago since Warren Ferguson stood on the top step of the podium. So, well done to Warren. It couldn't have happened to a night. He's a lovely bloke. He's got a family team, and the team just busts their ass every week. They do it on a small budget. They're not a large budget team like a lot of the teams, but they were able to put it together. He had a sensational battle with Sammy Walsh. Sammy Walsh was able to take the lead late in the stages from Warren. Then Warren fought back and really just didn't give an inch and held on for the win. So well done to Warren Ferguson. It's great to see, and great to see one of the little guys get up, and a guy of Warren's calibre. He's certainly got a lot of talent. He's showing a lot of speed in drips and drabs. There can be nights where he's on and off, but on this occasion last night, he was on point, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy in a more deserving team, because 17 years between drinks is a long time with that. And that was only his third career feature race win, so at Valvoline Raceway. So well done, Warren. Great to see, and keep it up. Plenty of racing to come now, and you're certainly in good touch. So well done. Second was Sammy Walsh. Sammy Walsh, it's his fourth podium finish for the season. So two of them have been fourth podium finish. Out of those four, he's had 2 wins. And then we've got Troy Little, back-to-back podium finishes for Troy. He was ended up third for the second night in a row. That was his second feature race run for the season in the Stephen Lynch-owned car. Fourth was Robbie Farr. Robbie Farr was challenging right up there in the feature race, but it was unable to get onto the podium. Fifth was Alex Orr, so the Central Coast-based youngster. He certainly he come from the B main. He said Alex, he's got plenty of speed, but he certainly does it the hard way. He come from the B main, so him and James Thompson came from the B main, and so Alex came out of position 21 after coming from position 15 in the B main. So he had a bad time trial, and as a result, that hurt him. He equaled a career best finish for Alex Orr. So well done for Alex. He's a guy that I've tipped to crack it for a podium sooner rather than later, and he certainly made a career best performance, an equal career best performance there. Ian Madsen, he didn't have the strongest of nights and ended up in 6th place running for the Jamie Matheson owned car. Daniel Sayer started from position 24 to run 7th after coming out of the B main, so a strong result there. Danny Reedy, another consistent top 10 finish for Danny. He ended up 8th. Matt Dumsney was 9th. Matt was earlier challenging for a podium finish before spinning and ran mid-race distance, and he managed to recover for 9th. And Matt's younger brother, Marcus, completed the top 10 finishes. Current Ultimate Sprint Car New South Wales Series points leader, James Thompson. I was about to say James McFadden, wrong race. James Thompson, he ended up 14th, so he come out of the B main. Grant Anderson, he had a crash in the opening lap, and very frustrating for him. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and his luck will turn around. But keep at it, Ando, mate. You build a tough stuff. So with that, American Buddy Kofoid, he finished 15th, running the Gordon Racing Team car. He had qualified directly out of position, what have we got there, buddy? Position 9, so it qualified strongly out of 9, but then dropped back in the latter start in the feature race to run 15th. In the heat race action, New Zealand-based racer Dean Brinder had a big crash in the opening heat, and that in his heat race, and that caused substantial damage to the car. Luckily, he was okay, but the car was junk, so he'll be replacing a car. So, with that, in the support classes, we had the wingless sprints. Mark Blyton ended up with his second win for the season. This is the 8th round of the New South Wales Club Championship. He was able to get past Jeff Thomas in the last, with 2 laps remaining. Second was Jeff Thomas, and Jeff's younger brother, Dean, was third. One of the form drivers, the 2 form drivers are the Thomas siblings, and then there was many other drivers, including Jason Bates and a few other guys that just had one of those off nights where they were unable to get out of the B main. And when you've got 55 cars, it certainly makes it tough. You just can't be off your game, because in order to get into the feature race, it's an achievement in itself when you've got such large fields, and with the wingless sprint class being so even and competitive, it makes it tough to, you can't be off your game. And the Lightning sprints, it was AJ McTaggart who picked up his second feature race win for the season. Chris Davis put in his best performance for the year to run second, and Danny Stone was third. Jordan Binskin, he's arguably one of the New South Wales fastest drivers. But can't take a trick, and he'd won the previous meeting at Valvoline Raceway, but on this occasion, yet another DNF despite being the fastest in the field. He was like half a second faster than his nearest rivals, but that doesn't mean much if you don't finish. So Jordan, keep at it, mate, and you'll get there. And then we've got the Brisbane's Archfield Speedway in Queensland. We had the postponed meeting from Boxing Day, so that was brought to last night, and it was the first full race meeting that they've been able to get in, and it was Logan Schuhart, so the American. He's driving for John Wetherell. This is his second season appearance. He ran last season for John Wetherell and came back, so he's part of the Shark Racing team with Jacob Allen, and they do the Whole Lot of Outlaws series. with that on a shoestring budget. But Logan Schuhart was able to beat Donny Schatz fair and square. So he was able to pass Donny Schatz on lap 20, and from there he was never headed. Donny Schatz had to set off a second. So Schuhart was on a mission and got the job done. And yeah, the best of the Australians was Luke Oldfield. So he's been a mirror of consistency so far this season. I think he's sixth podium finish for the season. So running the Queensland number 17 Oldfield Racing Team cars. So he picked up yet another podium finish in the best of the Australians. Fourth was Peter Lack. Fifth was Mark Foley. So a budget racer. He put an outstanding effort. He'd earlier in the night set the quickest time in qualifying, and then was able to bring it home in the top 5. So well done there. Brian Mann was 6th. Cody Morosky, he'd come from deep in the field out of position 14, and he ended up running 7th. Brodie Tulloch, he was 8th. Jaden Peacock, he come from position 16 after coming out of the B main. He was 9th, and completing the top 10 was budget racer Dan Murray. And then Caden Manders, who's running for the Horrell Motorsport team, he'd won the B main, but unfortunately was an early retirement in the feature race. And the support classes, so you had the Formula 500s. Kurt Wilson picked up his career first win in the Formula 500s. So he's running for the Tony Cochrane owned Queensland number 5 car. Tony Cochrane, his car is on the road with Kevin Tippman with World Series sprint cars. And so Kurt picked up the win. Second was Thomas Parrington, so that was Thomas's best finish for the season. And third was veteran. You're calling him a veteran? I know he's over 30, so I'll call him a veteran. Nathan Prong, he's been racing for a long time, so he completed the podium. In the compact speed cars for the President's Cup, you had Robbie Stewart, who was took the lead on the final corner, so he done it in the last job. He got Tim Farrell and was able to take the wins. Second was Farrell, and third was Dave Swan. And the Mod Lights, so that was the 4th round of the Pro Race Car Series, and it was Clinton Hansey. This is the win number 7 for Clinton Hansey, and he carries great form heading into tonight's opening of the Queensland title. Clinton Hansey picked up the win. Graham Nucky from South Australia was 2nd, and Kyle Honor was 3rd. So with that, and then we go to Lang Speedway in country Victoria, down this in the southeast region of Victoria. The wingless sprints, they had their crossfire shootout, and that was won by Luke Wheel. So Luke Wheel, he won it last year as well, and this was his 3rd win for the season. Second was Todd Hobson. Todd Hobson had a big crash on Boxing Night at Bairnsdale when he come together with Tony Mule. He was driving his sister Ebony's car, and he was able to bring it home in a confidence-boosting 2nd place. Third was Wayne Logue. So Wayne Logue, who's driven 360 sprint cars and numerous sedan divisions over the years. This was his 3rd finish in as many nights. So he ran 3rd in both of the Gippsland doubleheaders at Bairnsdale and Rosedale, and then ended up 3rd last night at Lang Speedway. So hopefully he can break that and move further up the field. Bo Patterson was 4th, and Jeff Cook from Warrnambool was 5th. And the speed cars, it was Justin McMinn, so a former Australian compact speed car champion. He was made the move recently, a couple of years ago, into speed cars and picked up his 2nd win for the season. Second was Adam Wallace, the former Australia number 2 in speed cars and a 3-time Australian international champion. He was 2nd, and Nick Parker was 3rd. Home in 4th and 5th was Ashley Booker and Anthony Chaffee from Queensland. And the Super Rods, it was current Victorian champion Andrew Howard who scored the win. Paul Verhoeven was 2nd, and Michael Codd, I think that's how you say it, was 3rd. So, plenty of racing going on last night, and more to come. Then we go to Gympie's Mother Mountain Speedway in Queensland. We had the opening round of the Summer Slam Series for super sedans, and what a race it was. The race went for 40 laps, but I think 41 laps were recorded. I'm not sure what happened there with the transponders, but on that final lap, it was Callum Harper, the former Australian champion for super sedans and current late model champion. This was his 3rd night in a row. He'd run at Bundaberg's Carina Speedway for the US versus Australia late model challenge, or shootout, whatever you want to call it. And he got a second and a first, but then this is his third night in a row getting into the Super Sedan and getting Darren Kane on the last lap, the current Australian champion. So Kane had to settle for second aboard the Australian number one Ian Botcher Race Parts Dominator car. Third was former Australian champion Steve Jordan. Fourth and fifth went to Tasmanian Adam Beachy and New South Wales' Lachlan Omley. So a strong result there. In terms of DNFs, a number of the high profiles, Matt Pascoe, who was fast all night and was really going to be challenging up the front of the field. But unfortunately, he had a DNF along with South Australian youngster Ryan Alexandra and three-time Australian champion Mick Nicola from Victoria. So all three of those heavy hitters had DNFs, and unfortunately were unable to challenge for the feature race win. For the opening round of the Speedway Series for junior sedans, you had Artie Jonick, who won his champions, his feature race. So the feature race was split into two, depending on your speed and where you were graded at. So Artie Jonick, that was his 10th feature race win for junior sedans for this season. He's the current Queensland, South Australian and Northern Territory champion. And he defeated Victorian Casey Garlick. She's the current Australian number two. She fought hard to run second. And Casey O'Connell, the current Queensland number three in junior sedans. He was third. In the A-main, so that was the A-main number two. In the A-main number one, so that was for the opening round for the Speedway for the junior sedans. James Ryan picked up the win. Abby Mann was second. And Jackson Golding was third. In the National 4 sedans, you had Tim Weir, who's the current New South Wales champion. No, he's not the current New South Wales champion. He's a former New South Wales and Queensland champion. He picked up the win. Andrew Pickering was second, and third was Hayden Turner. In the production sedans, it was Queenslander Josh Crane, Aaron Sander, and ex-junior sedan racer Patrick Brennan. In the junior sedans, it was current New South Wales champion. In the street stock, it was current New South Wales champion NT number 3, Peter Thompson, who drove away with the win. Ryan Keller was second, and third was John Stoward. And staying in Adelaide, going down to Adelaide at Adelaide's Gilman Speedway in South Australia, was the Christmas meeting, the annual Christmas meeting that they have. Unfortunately, the headlining acts, Max Frick and Justin Sedgman, were all both ruled out. Justin Sedgman, due to injury, I think it was said in the preview yesterday, he had broke his collarbone in 3 spots. So ouch, that would hurt. And Max Frick had a delay with his engines, and so he wanted to get this meeting to get some laps ahead of the Australian title that's coming up earlier next month. So in a couple of days when it's January. So, so unfortunately his engines haven't arrived in the country, and therefore he was unable to make the show. But in the end, it was Robert Medson who scored the win. Second was Braden McGuinness, and third was Arlo Bajira. I think that's how you say it. Sorry, pardon. I apologise for that. In the sidecars, it was Kim Menadue and his passenger Eric Melton who scored the win. Damien Nietzsche and Mitchell Spear was second, and Nathan Koch and Jack Wilson were third. And Nathan Koch, that is not a typo, or as pronounced it. In the South Australian Under-16 Championship for 250cc, it was Kian Rue from Queensland who scored the win. Making the dominance for the Queenslanders was Jacob Hook in second. Fraser Bowes and Liam May, both of the locals, were third and fourth place respectively. Then we've got the International Midget Series was held last night for round 2. That was held at Bay Park Family Speedway, so that's about 2.5 hours southeast of Auckland, so that's in the North Island. And it was Tyler Courtney from the US that scored the win. Second was Michael Pickens, and third was Brock Mastovich. In terms of the Australians, the best result was from Dane Kingshott, scored a top 5 result, so well done to him, flying the flag high for the Aussies. In 10th was Michael Stewart, so the other Aussie, and Caden Brown, he was running inside the top 10 and looking really strong until he had he spun out, so he was up to 6 after starting from position 8, and he spun out and then later lost his brakes, which resulted in a DNF. So it was a really tough track, and unfortunately Caden, but he can take a lot of confidence that all 3 of the Australians are doing really well. You're running up against you're like professionals. A lot of these guys do it for a living. You've got Kyle Larson, Kyle Courtney, Michael Pickens, all those guys. So the Australians can really hold their head high. So yep. So that completes everything from last night. So thanks everyone for tuning in. What we've got looking ahead for tonight, there's not a whole lot of racing coming. As we speak, the Tulsa Shootout for Micro 600s, which is the equivalent of Formula 500s, they're on as we speak. There's about 1 million cars. I think it's about 1,000 across hot laps, heat races. There's 8 different divisions, and we've got 4 Australians representing us. So really excited about that. Current Australian and 3-time Australian champion Liam Williams heads the field. Marcus Kelly, this is his 3rd attempt at the Tulsa Shootout. 2nd attempt for Christian Kelly, another Tasmanian, and Californian-based Australian Danny Carroll, who's originally from Victoria. They're all competing. So really excited about that, and hopefully they do well and they can really come away with a satisfactory result. So what we've got coming up tonight, so we've got Maryborough Speedway in Queensland. That's in the Fraser Shores region of the state. So it's the 2nd round of the Super Sedan Summer Series. Obviously Darren Kane will be looking to make amends after getting pipped on the last lap. And Callum Harper will be able to be looking to continue that winning run of his. So, and then you've got Matt Pascoe, who was strong all last night at Mother Mountain. He'll be looking to make amends, as will Ryan Alexander and Mick Nicholas. All 3 of those guys suffered DNFs. So, with that, but Steve Jordan, he was right up there, and it's really exciting. It's going to be some good racing around Maryborough tonight. Also there, we've got junior sedans for the Silver Crown. That's night 1, which also the 2nd round of the Speedway Series. So there's a massive 38 nominations there for juniors, and next season's the 2018-19 season is going to be hosting the National Junior Sedan title up there at Maryborough. So plenty of racing, plenty of races wanting to get laps, and it's really junior sedans are really flourishing up there in the Sunshine State. It's also the opening night of the Queensland title, so one opening night of 2. Some mod lights for their Queensland title. So there's 25 nominations. Maryborough Speedway is going to be running tonight, tomorrow night, and then Sunday night too. So New Year's Eve. So it's going to be plenty of racing up there at Maryborough Speedway in the Fraser Shores region of Queensland. Going further, staying on the east coast, but going further south down to Hamilton's Western Speedway in Country Victoria. They've got round 3 of the Formula 500 Speedway Series, so 32 nominations there. Ryan Skinner, Dion Bellman, all those guys running up the front. Frank Galucia, so he'd be up there looking to go one better than he did last night. So he'll be up there. MK Nationals are also on the program. We've got Wingless Sprinters, 29 nominations, and that's for their annual Western Shootout. So plenty of racing there with that. So that completes everything, guys. Thanks once again for tuning in. Please like, comment, share. I really appreciate the support. What I'm going to be doing a road trip tomorrow night, going to Geelong's Avalon Raceway. So we're getting on the road this afternoon. So I'm looking forward to doing that and getting amongst it. It's going to be a lot of racing to be had. But looking forward to getting down and catching the World Series round and then coming back that day. So I must thank Reg Colbert from the Patriot Motorsport team and his lovely wife, Kat. Looking forward to, going to be crashing with them for the next couple of days down in Albury. So I'll be halfway between Sydney and Geelong. So, guys. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys, for tuning in once again. I hope you really enjoy. I'm enjoying it, bringing it to you. And thanks, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.